recite them. This means that on the day of resurrection, the reward of reciting them turns into what is mentioned. Another proof indicating that deeds themselves are weighed is found in the Hadith of the card, in which it is mentioned that a paper on which La ilaha illallah is written will be weighed, and Allah knows best. It has been related that the doer will be weighed as well. Abu Huraira related that the Messenger of Allah said, "A large fat man will come on the day of resurrection, and for Allah he will not weigh even the weight of a wing of a mosquito." And he said, "Recite if you wish, and on the day on resurrection we shall assign no weight for them." A similar narration is related through a different chain from Abu Huraira. In it, the Messenger of Allah said, "A gluttonous, heavy drinking large man will be brought, and he will be weighed along in comparison to with a grain, and he will be less than it in weight." Related that his father said, "We were with the Messenger of Allah when a man from the Quraysh came, strutting in some kind of robe. When he stood over the Prophet, the Prophet said, 'O Abu Buraida, this one is from those about whom Allah said, on the day of resurrection we shall assign no weight for them.'" Zur related from Ibn Masud that he had very thin legs. One day the wind flung away his garment, thus exposing them. The people laughed at him. Then the Messenger of Allah said, "What are you laughing at?" They said, "O Prophet of Allah, from the thinness of his legs." He said, "By the one who has my soul in his hand, the two of them, his two legs, are indeed heavier in the balance than Uhud, a large mountain in Al-Medina." Alone related it, and its chain is good and strong. There are other narrations that mention similar descriptions, and Allah knows best. Aisha said, "O Messenger of Allah, will you remember your family on the day of resurrection?" He said, "As for three places, then no: the book, the balance, and the sirat, which is over the hellfire, and which people will cross over, those crossing over being the saved ones." In this hadith, the book might be referring to when the book of deeds is placed to bear witness over the nations with their deeds, or it might be referring to the scrolls that will scatter, and people will differ in that some will be taking them by their right, while others are taking them by their left. Al-Hasan related that Aisha cried, and then the Messenger of Allah said to her, "What makes you cry, O Aisha?" She said, "I remembered the people of the hellfire, and I cried, will they remember their families on the day of resurrection?" He said, "As for three situations, then no one will remember another person when the balance is placed until one knows whether his balance was heavy or light, and when he says, 'Come and read my book,' when the scrolls are scattered until he knows where the book will fall, in his right or in his left, or from behind his back, and when the sirat is placed on the bridge of the hellfire." In another narration, Aisha mentioned the hellfire and cried. The wording is the same as the hadith above, except that the Prophet said, "And at the book, when it will be said, 'Come and read my book,' until he knows where his book will fall in his right, in his left, or from behind his back. At the Sirat, when he is placed over the hellfire. Another chain from Aisha bint Abu Bakr said, I said to the Messenger of Allah, does the lover remember the one who loves on the day of resurrection? He said, O Aisha, as for 3 situations, then no. At the balance until it is heavy or light, then no. When the books are scattered and one is given his either with his right or with his left, then no. And when a neck from the hellfire comes out and embraces them, raging over them, it will say, I have been entrusted with 3, with he who claims God